stage for the 79th time in the Champions League, breaking a German record as they look to strengthen their position among Europe's elite. Arsenal, though, they're aiming to reach the semi-finals of this competition for the first time since 2013. There was nothing to separate the two sides after the first leg, and both teams know what's at stake, a place in the Champions League semi-finals.
I've started, you know, it's 30 seconds in. Yeah, I thought I was going to jump man up top, but all crap, it is getting dark, isn't it? I'm going to put a light on.
So the players are ready for this one. Let's take a look at the Wolfsburg team then. 2 changes since their first leg draw against Arsenal. Joe Wiedemeyer is suspended after picking up a collection of yellow cards in the competition. She's replaced by Lynn Wilms. Alex Popp also takes to the bench as Svennis Jonsdottir makes her first start in the Champions League for Wolfsburg. Tabea Basmuth was named the player of the match in the first leg draw. She won the award for the 3rd time this season, more than any other player. One of the big inclusions as well is Wolfsburg's Eva Pajor, who is included in the Wolfsburg squad on the bench for the first time since September. For the referee this evening, Ivana Prochkowska. And of course a reminder that there is video assistant referee as well. Pavel Rashkowski is on the VAR duties this evening. As the 2 captains, Kim Little and Svenja Hoot, go through their pre-match rituals. This is the side then that Jonas Eidevall has named. Also 2 changes since their 1-1 draw with Wolfsburg last week. Beth Mead is suspended for this game after also receiving some yellow cards in the competition. So that means Tobin Heath starts for Arsenal. Leah Valti is also not involved in the squad today. So Frida Marnham starts in midfield. Lotte Wubben-Moy was on target for the Gunners in the first leg, scoring that all-important equaliser. She starts alongside Leah Williamson and Steph Catley. Arsenal only able to name 8 substitutes though, including the 2 keepers. A couple of players out with injuries. So a huge game for both sides, and they'll have to try and keep their eye on that player. Tabea Basmuth, joined from Hoffenheim in the summer, is the competition's top scorer this season with 9 goals, and it's crazy to think this is her debut season in the competition as well.
She scored against us last week.
And in the Wolfsburg arena, the peace sign has been made out around the centre circle. And almost ready to get underway. And it will be Wolfsburg who will take the first kick, but first the referee will just have to check a couple of things. Might be, Scott, because there's so much confetti on the pitch.
It could be, yeah. I don't know what they're going to do about that, though. They need to get the hoover out.
It'll soon blow away. Well, it certainly is occasion. And we are underway now. I'm still not taking off because it is the confetti that is stopping this game from getting underway.
This could take a while. Not great for the players, this, you know, you're just about to start the game. get yourself geared up and ready, and then there's a delay. You see they've got a ball or two out there just to keep themselves ticking over until the referee decides to give the go-ahead.
Well, they've got the leaf blower out now. Doesn't really look like it's doing too much, does it?
I think it's more like
I think it's a Hoover.
I told you it was going to be a Hoover.
Oh,
That was handy having that around, wasn't it?
I wonder whoever's decision it was to put the confetti on the pitch. Although this is a huge occasion, isn't it, for the fans that have been able to come into this stadium, the stadium where the men's Wolfsburg team play. Expecting about 10,000 fans inside the stadium tonight, and of course that will be an extra help for this Wolfsburg side. Arsenal will have to contend with some very loud fans who've already been showing their support, singing and chanting before the game's already got underway.
It just all adds to the tension. It's been a very successful young manager at Wolfsburg so far.
Well, there you can see the lighter side of this as the kickoff has been delayed because of confetti on the pitch, which is blocking the view of the lines on the surface. They do have a big Hoover out now trying to clear away that confetti. There is Nadine Kessler, of course former Wolfsburg player and now UEFA's head of women's football, in attendance.
Surely we're going to do all this before kickoff. We've been like an hour.
Yeah, it's not ideal, this.
Have you ever seen a game delayed because of confetti on the pitch?
I've never seen anyone come on with a Hoover. That's a first.
Well, Wolfsburg also showing their support for the country of Ukraine with the Ukrainian flag draped across the stands and a big peace symbol over the top. Also the peace symbol in the centre circle on this pitch too, showing their support for Ukraine. Well, it was a historic moment as well yesterday in women's football when a record crowd of over 91,000 fans witnessed the Barcelona-Real Madrid El Clasico match. It was a true occasion, wasn't it? And great to see thousands of fans here inside the Wolfsburg Arena as well, showing their support for women's football in the Champions League. And it will be an exciting time because it's nicely poised at 1-1. And of course, a reminder that there are no away goals. So there will have to be a winner in this game as the players take the lead to continue the support in the fight against racism. So it looks like we are finally ready to get underway after that slight delay. And now we are underway at Wolfsburg Arena. Two teams harbouring the same ambitions in Europe's elite competition. Arsenal looking to progress through to the Final Four for the first time in 9 years, whilst Wolfsburg will be hoping to rewrite their wrongs from last season's exit at this stage and take themselves one step closer to European glory. Well, former Glasgow City and Birmingham women manager Scott Booth alongside me. Nothing to separate the two sides in the first leg. Scott, where will the vital differences lie today?
I think up top, I think both teams have really put out a strong attacking lineup. They both obviously are desperate to get past this stage, even though it is daunting that they'll face Barcelona. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because of the fact that they look like both managers have said, look, there's no point in getting to this stage and not really, trying to go and win the game, take the game to the opposition.
Well, ball given away to Latvine. And Frida Marnum. Has gone down and perhaps just saying she got something into her face and just collided there with Lena Latvine.
Yeah, that will have been painful, particularly as well because it's a cold night and they have just had to wait around for a number of minutes there before they could kick off.
Well, it was a good 5-minute delay or so before we were able to get underway in this game. And there is the Wolfsburg manager, Tommy Stort, who signed this season for Wolfsburg, and they are having a fine season as well, currently top of the table domestically. Jonas Edeval also joining Arsenal this season too. They are currently battling it out between Chelsea in the Women's Super League. They're two teams really that have got themselves right in the mix, haven't they, with trying to get that #1 spot domestically, also trying to progress through to the Champions League. They're also in the cup competitions themselves as well, both of them in semi-finals.
Yeah.
So there's plenty at stake for both sides, isn't there?
There definitely is.
Oh, well, this is
And that's why these big games can really help with that.
Yeah,
If they can, either side get through to the semi-finals, then it just keeps the whole momentum of your season going. It makes everyone realise that you're having a good campaign and all the players feel confident.
Hendrich with the ball over. He was headed away, and here's Marnum back on the pitch and seems to be doing okay after that little collision. Janssen. Latvine. Blocked by Catley, but Wolfsburg have it back. Here's Hoot. Over to Wilms. And Tobin Heath was chasing this one down and was able to get the block in.
Yeah, good tackle. Tobin Heath working hard.
Only 4 minutes.
I think they will. Both teams just be treating this as a cup final. So it's more like a one-off game now, isn't it? And that's why, as I said earlier, they're both going for it.
Miedema was looking to get that ball into a bit of space for Tobin Heath, couldn't get through. Lynn Wilms. Here is Hendrich, back to Ahmed Schult.
You can see Tobin Heath taking up that position on the left-hand side and Miedema just in behind Blackstenius.
Wilms with a nice ball into Varsmoed. Varsmoed back to Jill Roort. Rauch sends the ball into a bit of space. It's picked up by Varsmoed, and not the best pass back to Lynn Wilms, but she's able to deal with it. Jill Roord with a little push from Viviana Miedema. Hendrich fights back to get the ball. Here's Latvine. Into the feet of Svenja Hoot, looking to cut it in. almost off the back of Jonsdottir. Sinsberger spilled it.
Yeah, good play down the right hand side. Hood finds herself completely free, taken to the byline. A little dinked ball in. I don't think Jonsdottir knows much about it. You never know, for that one, it could have ended up in the back of the net. A good little start, that's for sure, from Wolfsburg. On the front foot.
Well, Svenja Hood got taken down there from Viviana Miedemar, who, of course, will have plenty of experience playing against this Wolfsburg side as a former Bayern Munich player.
Yeah, both important players for the clubs. I mean, Svenja Hood, obviously captain tonight, can play pretty much anywhere. I think she's a key player in the attack for Wolfsburg. Trying taking up that role on the right hand side.
Here is Svenja Hood. Lynn Wilms looking to get that ball in. It was sent away though by Little. Not quite the best clearance from Steph Catley. Lynn Wilms again trying to keep that chance alive. Here's Heath. Well, Tommy Stork was, I'm sure, pretty frustrated with that first leg after they were leading for much of the game. Wolfsburg, and of course Arsenal able to find themselves that important equaliser right before full time thanks to Lotte Wubben-Moy. Still up in the air whether that free kick was meant or not.
No.
Well, I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'm going to say that it was meant. I'm not saying it was meant for Wubben-Moy to finish it, but I think for Tobin Heath, you could see that she definitely lines up to just whack that ball across goal more than actually go for the shot. Well, that's my opinion anyway.
Here's Hort. Finds Hoot. Looking to get away from Catley. Catley did enough just to put her off and stopping her from getting that shot in.
It's going to be an interesting battle, that one, between Svenja Hood and Catley. Down Wolfsburg, right hand side. Both excellent players.
So how to take this corner for Wolfsburg? Decent delivery in as well, not quite cleared away. And Wolfsburg have the opening goal. It was touched in by Jill Hort. Arsenal weren't able to get that ball out of danger, and Wolfsburg took full advantage, and they take the lead in the second leg of this quarter-final. 2-1 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. And could that be the important start that the home side were looking for?
Oh yeah, Arsenal have hardly been out of their half. Don't deal with the first one at all. Ruud reacts so well. I think Jonsdottir's there, gets something on it, and then Ruud just manages to pirouette around, get enough of a touch on it to take it over the line. She was the first to react, but not dealt with at all well from an Arsenal defensive perspective. And not a great start to go down 1-0 in this away leg. He'll be disappointed, really disappointed.
Well, Jill Hort scored twice in their last game at the weekend in the league. She scores again today.
The VAR.
They are checking it though, with the video assistant referee.
I think they'll just maybe checking for the use of a hand somewhere, but definitely nothing in that, and the goal stands.
And the goal does stand. Wolfsburg take an early lead here in this game. Arsenal once again find themselves trailing in the quarter-finals. Here is Jill Hort. Rauch. Jonsdottir able to get away from Moritz. There wasn't any green shirts in the area able to get on the end of it. It was Tobin Heath who was there to pick up on the ball.
I Wolfsburg with more fears they got opposite. They would win out to the best team.
Arsenal just not able to get a grip on this game yet. Svenja Hood definitely with a shirt pull there from Catley.
Yeah. It's been a bright start, isn't it, from Wolfsburg?
Well, Arsenal just haven't seemed to be able to really create anything of their own or get out of their own half.
Yeah, and those are the moments or the phases in games where you just need to stay in it. You defend well. And they cannot afford to lose a second goal here.
Rauch to send it in, punched away by Zinsberger. Out to Lynn Velms. Decided to go at it alone.
Yeah, another good ball, and Zinsberger does come and get something on it. Again, it's not 100% easy for Arsenal to get out, to get anything on it, because the physicality of Wolfsburg and also the quality of delivery.
Perhaps not the start that he would have been hoping for his Arsenal side, Jonas Edeval. Arsenal were able to get themselves that important equaliser right before full time in the first leg. Of course, if it is all square at full time, we will have extra time and penalties if needed. Lindholm's getting that clearance.
Yeah, first chance for Arsenal to try and cause some problems. Put the home side under some pressure.
The corner for Arsenal will be taken by Steph Catley. Catley with the ball in, was looking for Miedemar. Goal kick though. Picked up here by Jill Hort, finds Hoot. Jonsdottir is asking for it on the far post. Couldn't quite get a touch on there. Opportunity still alive here for Wolfsburg. Ladvine. Rauch. Here's Ladvine again. Decides to go back to Janssen and now Henrich. Velms. Nice pass into Oberdorf. Zinsberger came out claimed in early.
How did she get so free? Just sort of ghosted into the penalty box, and I think she takes a poor touch. Oberdorf, which is not like her.
Here's Hoot again. As Wolfsburg come forward. Tries to get away from Catley. Only as far as Oberdorf. Here's Hoot again. Looking to get that ball in the area. Headed away. Out to Jill Lord. And Jill Lord's having a bit of fun, isn't she, against her former club?
Yeah, but the ball's got to be stopped from coming in the box. It's far too easy for Wolfsburg to, take all the time that they need to get quality balls in there, and that's why it's so difficult to defend. They have to get out to the ball, get in the face of the player that's going to put it in the box and stop them from doing that.
There's another corner to Wolfsburg. It's Rauch again. Sends it in. Almost an identical delivery to when Wolfsburg scored their first goal. Still not clear. Here's Wasmut. Makes it 2-0. The flag is up against her though, and it won't count.
Yeah. Just a yard or two. She was unmarked, but I think rightly so, because she was in an offside position. Oh, it's a close one though, isn't it? But she wasn't going to miss that one, that's for sure.
Well, they will, of course, check it just to see how close it was.
Yeah, I think you need to look at that one a couple of times.
We'll be getting the rulers out. The video assistant referee.
It's a good finish in the end as well, because she just makes sure that the ball's drilled low and hard across the goalkeeper. She didn't have much time to think about it.
It's offside.
Well, it could go from bad to worse if this goal stands for Jonas Erdeval. It is a bit of an agonising wait, isn't it? Especially for Tabia Basmud, who's the player who got the ball into the back of the net. And it's definitely close, because it's taken a considerable amount of time for VAR to check this.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for Arsenal here. It's taking a long time.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure, just making sure she keeps herself warm. She's not had too much to do so far. And it's been a very bright start for his side. And Arsenal really have been put under a lot of pressure.
Agonising, yeah.
This is pathetic.
Well, this is an incredibly long time to be waiting for the decision.
Thank God.
And in the end, the goal doesn't stand.
She's offside.
I think they get it right. Not sure why it took so long.
Wonky.
But anyway, away we go again.
Oh.
Wolfsburg coming forward again with Hood to get the ball. Right at the field looking for Tabia Basmut, but it went straight to the feet of Zinsberger. Wiedemar just got clipped there by Kathrin Hendrich.
Although it would have been a nervous wait for Arsenal there on VAR. In particular, I think it's maybe going to help them slightly. It just broke the game up gave them a little chance of a breather to maybe just get their minds right on this, because it's not been a good start at all.
Oh, for God's sake.
Little can't keep hold of that ball. Zobodov got it away from her. Hord's getting it into the area. Svenja Hook couldn't get anything on there, and it's Tobin Heath to clear this away for Arsenal. Blackstenius. Moritz. Jonsdottir has done really well to get back and defend for her team. Rauch looking to go forward, was fouled by Marnham. And Frida Marnham was one of the two changes for Jonas Edeval. Marnham coming in for Leah Volti, who's not involved. Well, there is the offside. It looks not too difficult to see that's offside, so I wonder what the delay was.
Yeah, it was close, but yeah, I think once you've seen that 2 or 3 times, you can make that decision.
Looked at it about 10 times after that, mate. Come on.
Williamson. And the ball was bobbling up and down the pitch. Obadov goes down holding a leg, but here's Jonsdottir. Skillfully getting past a couple of the red shirts that were in her way, was looking to get that ball into the area for Svenja Hood, couldn't quite find her though. Ball lands the feet of Marnham. Zinsberg with a kick to find Miedemar. Now Little.
That's the same, she got the ball. Most players say that. There's been 1 or 2 little late tackles and tackles with poor judgment, but nothing with real malice. Don't think it'll do Arsenal any harm to break up the game like that.
Hendy. Wilms. And then Wilms was also one of the 2 changes for Wolfsburg, as Noel Wiedemeyer is suspended for this game after collecting a couple of yellow cards. Beth Mead is also one of the players for Arsenal that's suspended, can't be involved today, also because she collected a couple of yellow cards too along the competition.
Yeah, and she's got to be a big miss. A player that's so dynamic, could really use her in a game like this.
Come on.
Blackstenius. Moy. Marnham. McCabe went down, but the referee didn't give anything. It was right in front of the view of the referee too. Back to Helmut Schult, the only mother in the Frauen-Bundesliga, mother to 2 twins. Little. And Arsenal just haven't really been able to find a rhythm in this game yet, have they?
No, because Wolfsburg are able to close down quickly, and when they're in possession they're able to keep it for longer. But they're just settling a little bit more now, Arsenal. You'd hope they can keep the ball better. So again there, the home side just making sure that they're unable to get into rhythm, and certainly a player like Kim Little, don't want to give her too much time on the ball.
Moy through to Blackstenius. This will be a ball for Batsman to try and chase down, but Leah Williamson was there first. Little to Catley, and Tobin Heath looking to get her team out of danger.
Again, good pressing from the home side. They're getting no time on the ball at all, Arsenal.
Wilms to Latvine. Hendrik to try and get that ball into the mix again.
Come on.
And this loose pass picked up by Marner. Now Arsenal will try and come forward. Moritz. Williamson to Miedemar, and it wasn't the touch that she was looking for, Viviana Miedemar.
That's a number of times now, though, that Blackstenius has come short into a pocket to take the ball, take possession, when, you know, her strong point is to play off the shoulder and really try and stretch Wolfsburg in behind, allow the midfield players to go and try and take the ball and then get the timing of her runs right. I don't think Arsenal want to see her go deeper.
Lord, back to Oberdorf. Now Latvine. Here's Jonsdottir. Jonsdottir is allowed to keep going, unable to get a shot away. It came off the feet of Williamson and will be a Wolfsburg corner.
Yeah, she's such a talented young player. Loves to run at the opposition defenders. She's got a good strike on her. Decent height, physicality. She's just going to get better and better. Gets a little touch there, and Roard with a deft finish. Knows where the goal is. Was aware of her surroundings and deserved the lead. Wolfsburg.
Corner comes in, headed away by Miedemar. Out to Wilms. McCabe looking to head that away. Still not quite cleared, Lords. Was allowed to shoot, and she's asking for a handball in the area in the end. Jonsdottir did get a shot away. Couldn't find the target. We'll have to have a close look at this.
Come on.
Well, it wasn't in the penalty area regardless.
I think it definitely hits the hand. It kind of goes through the legs and just up. There's nothing that she can do about that. No way of knowing, but
just hope it gives them a game plan.
You've seen them given, haven't you?
Hold on to the 1-0 deficit.
So difficult for defenders nowadays. Got to, you know, do that defensive job, go 1v1 and make sure their arms are in natural position by their side. It's so difficult. And any ricochet at all can cause the ball to hit your hand.
Heath couldn't keep hold of that ball, and Lindholm's able to take it away. That's fine, back to Lord. Here's Jonsdottir. Catley with the important block to stop that attack from coming in, but Wolfsburg have themselves another corner. And it's being relentless, isn't it, from Wolfsburg at the moment? They're just not stopping. And of course they don't want to, because they know what happened the last time they were 1 goal up against Arsenal. They were able to find that important equaliser, the Gunners. Rauch with the delivery in again. Punched away by Zinsberger this time. Heath trying to get it away. This time Little does fabulously well just to weave a way out of danger.
Come on.
And now Arsenal can try and get clear.
It'll be so against them on the play for the equalise.
Blackstenius.
That's a poor ball, and it deserved more of that attack, because the way that Kim Little got herself out of a really difficult situation was incredible. Such technique and awareness. Great balance. You can see how much she wants it.
Lindholm's only making a second Champions League appearance for Wolfsburg. Signed this season.
Come on.
There's Catley though. Catley's been allowed to shoot. Did force a save from Alma Schultz, and really the first thing that she's had to do in this game, the Wolfsburg goalkeeper.
Yeah, and just again a better period now for Arsenal. Can they get something out of it?
Oberdorf able to stop Vivian Miedemar from trying to get another attack going for Arsenal. Nelms.
Oberdorf is so strong, isn't she, in there? Really good football player, but also she has the strength to match.
Svenja Hoot through to Jill Lord. She could be in here. Wasn't allowed to get her shot away. Picked up by Ladvine. Now Rauch. Jonsdottir, lovely turn to get away from Moritz. Ball goes in and it was fingertip save from Zinsberger in the end.
I'm sure there's a cross there. She does really well to ride the tackle, and then, yeah, just doesn't catch it quite right, and almost catches out the goalkeeper. Zinsberger just making sure she had to. She's creeping into the game, Jonsdottir.
Well, a little bit of pushing and shoving as Oberdorf went into the side netting. So crowded, isn't it? Right in front of goal.
So far, the corners that have come in have asked the question of the goalkeeper to either decide to come and try and get there or stay on her line. Let's see.
Hoot with the delivery in. Away by Blackstenius. Only as far as Lindholms, he'll try and get it back in the mix. Lindholms this time gets a shot away. It was bouncing up but into the hands of Zinsberger. Kim Little again holding strong with that pressure from Jill Lord, a former teammate of hers.
Say it again.
Wolfsburg back in possession again. Ladvine allowed to come clear. Basmud leaves it for Hoot. Great save from Zinsberger with a foot. And keeps that ball firmly in her grasp.
Yeah, another chance. Good play from Wolfsburg again. And when it falls to Hoot, I'm thinking the worst for Arsenal, but it's a good save from the goalkeeper. an important save. Not the kind of finish that I think that Hooper wanted. It wasn't wide enough of the goalkeeper, but still, Zinsberger does well.
You just can't get a pass in. Just get the second half better.
I just wonder though if we've got to maybe try and get McCabe across to the left-hand side. Oh, they have actually, look. Just to help on that Hoot side defensively. So that Cadley has at least someone to help double up at times. And Heath's gone across to that right-hand side. I think that'll help Arsenal.
Freckles now has been just over on my recording. This
It's also a more natural side for Kate McCabe.
It's got 9 minutes to go to half time. Oh.
Well, interestingly enough, in Wolfsburg's last 6 Champions League campaigns, going all the way back to 2015 and 16, they've ended at the following stages: final, then quarter-final, then final, quarter-final. So if that trend is to carry on, it will see them into the final of this competition.
Well, nevertheless, it's such a great record anyway, isn't it? I mean, they're in the quarter-final pretty much every year.
Ball in here for Blackstenius.
Is it?
Couldn't get a shot away because Catherine Hendrich was doing some brilliant defending and just closed down that area and stopped her from even trying to get a connection on that one.
You know, more like the position that she wants to be in. Running off the shoulder. It's a quick break for Wolfsburg there. Unsuccessful. But Blackstenius, we need to get her in the game from an Arsenal perspective to make sure that they are asking questions of the home side. There's not been enough done so far in that perspective. But also, you have to say, you know, his side have started so well that right now Arsenal just need to stay in the game. It's not a bad scoreline, 1-0 down. They know they will get a chance in this game.
Janssen. Rauch. Now Vels back to the Wolfsburg captain, Svenja Hoot. And now Rasmus will pick this up. Nice delivery in. Jonsdottir was arriving, couldn't quite get onto it. It was good defending in the end by Arsenal. Still not cleared away. Now Oberdorf. Oberdorf, blocked by Williamson. Now to Rauch, and the ball was taken off her by Tobin Heath. Miedema. Can't get away from Janssen, a Dutch teammate, international teammate. Intercepted here by Hendrich. Now Wolfsburg looking to get away again. Svenja Hoot trying to get around Wubben Moy.
Good defending. Well-timed tackle. Zinsberger's just getting them settled down here. It's like a 3-on-1 situation. Hoot decides to go alone. Wubben Moy just gets her body in the way.
There's Tobin Heath. Arsenal were due to play at the Arsenal Stadium at the weekend against Tottenham, the North London derby, but that game was postponed due to Tottenham having a couple of COVID cases in their camp.
Couple?
so they didn't play at the weekend, whereas Wolfsburg did. Picked up here by Little. Catley. Blocked by Wilms.
A good play again from Wilms.
You have to say,
She started well,
yeah, filling in for Joelle Biedermeijer. Just their second Champions League appearance as well for the Dutch international, only 21 years old, but she has been heavily involved in this first half, hasn't she?
Yeah, she looked really comfortable, composed.
Dominic Johnson, another player that playing against their former club, signed for Wolfsburg from Arsenal back in 2019. Marnham with a header over to find Heath, but now got a touch in there, be another throw for Arsenal. Zinsberger. Had to be careful there because Varsmut was putting the pressure on, but now Arsenal looking to get away. Here's Miedema. Finds McCabe. McCabe looking to get that delivery in. It was placed pretty well. In the end, the flag was up, but Blackstenius was in a dangerous position to get on the end of that.
Yeah, McCabe just loves to swing that ball in from that angle. Great left foot.
Ball lands to Miedema, who's trying to get away from Hendrik, but Hendrik is holding out strong, and she's done really well there because Wolfsburg have the ball back in their possession. Jon Stotzit. Ruben Moy. Anthony Miedema, but
you can see that she's desperately trying to get in the game. Just over the last 3 or 4 minutes though, she's been in possession, trying to drive her team forward from that slightly deeper position.
There's Oberdorf. And then Oberdorf's also been a vital player for Wolfsburg in the Champions League this season. He's got the second most tackles out of all of the clubs. And really good at being able just to break up play in midfield. Here's Blackstenius. Varsmut with the ball back to Hoot. Now Varsmut is making a run forward. Hoot back to Wilms. Just the 2 minutes added on in the first half. Felt like that VAR decision went on longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah, it did feel like it.
Perhaps feels like time's going a lot slower when you're waiting for a decision, doesn't it?
Well, at least they got it right in the end. Varsmut You know, we know what she can do as a striker and scoring goals. She loves doing that, but she works so hard. Really does.
Well, it looks like Lena Ladvine is asking to be replaced. She was holding a leg. Well, it will be Alex Pop to replace Lena Ladvine. If they do end up making the substitution, it seemed pretty clear when she did go down, because Jill Horde immediately signalled, didn't she, to her manager and the rest of the Wolfsburg staff. Well, Arsenal really have been under quite a lot of Wolfsburg pressure in this opening half. They haven't really been able to play the game that they wanted to play. Arsenal, Wolfsburg have controlled most of it.
Yeah, they've controlled the tempo of the first half. You know, the pressing tempo, the tempo in possession, the chances. They've used the wide areas particularly well. And they've continually asked the question of Arsenal defensively.
Well, Lena Ladvine is to be replaced by Alexandra Pop, who recently made a return to Wolfsburg after a really long time out with injury. She started the game against Arsenal in the first leg back in London. She was named on the bench this afternoon, but a full substitution sees her come on in the last couple of moments of this first half. Oberdorf with a big kick looking for Vasmut. Stenius.
Again, good pressing from the home side. They've managed to keep that tempo continually high. And that's why Arsenal have found themselves in just difficult positions constantly. Every time they take a touch, there's a green jersey next to them. They put a tackle in. So difficult when you get as little time as they've had.
And that is it then for the first half. A brilliant performance from the home side, Wolfsburg, who take the lead going in at half-time. It was a goal scored by Jill Horde against her former team within 8 minutes of the game. It all came from a corner, and all she had to do was tap it in to the back of the net. It was the fastest goal that Wolfsburg have scored in the Champions League so far this campaign. And they were in full control throughout the first half. Half-time score, Wolfsburg 1, Arsenal 0. Aggregate score as it stands, Wolfsburg 2, Arsenal 1. Your thoughts on that first half, Scott?
Yeah, as you've said, Wolfsburg have just played really, really well right from the off. And they dictated the tempo, and Arsenal have just found it so difficult to get in the game. And I feel like for Arsenal, they need a release pass somewhere when they do win possession, because if they try to just play 2-3 passes before they get anywhere, Wolfsburg are right on top of them. So they're going to have to try and fix that at half-time.
It just seemed like Arsenal weren't able to get themselves into the game at all. They didn't really have many chances. Wolfsburg, they could have had a couple of goals themselves, couldn't they?
Yeah, they've had chances, and they've always been in good areas. They've had plenty of corners to throw in the box, and they've come close a number of times.
Well, these are the statistics then for the first half. Possession just edging Wolfsburg to 54%. Plenty of chances though, as we were saying, 11 attempts, just the 3 of those on target though, but just the 1 attempt for Arsenal. They won't be happy with that.
No, they need more. 1-0 though, it's still in the balance. They have to talk it through at half-time and come out much stronger.
Well, they were able to do it in the first leg, Arsenal, as they came back from going a goal down against Wolfsburg. Can they do it again? They'll need to try and find a goal from somewhere. Half-time score, Wolfsburg 1, Arsenal 0.
It's impossible to take hold of the world's spotlight overnight. Create your own uniform. Be a cover model, a powerful athlete, or compete as a trans woman. Impossible? No. I'm possible.
Mein erstes Trikot war ein FC Bayern-Trikot. Ich weiß, dass damals mein eigener Name hinten drauf stand mit der 6. So früh wie es ging, war ich dann auch im Verein. Da wusste ich, ich möchte zu den Frauen und ich möchte es einfach machen. Also ich wusste von der ersten Sekunde, dass ich es machen will, aber ich wusste gleich, kommen 1000 Sachen, die ich irgendwie mit meiner Familie klären muss, weil ich auch sehr familienverbunden bin und ich wusste eigentlich, die sind nicht dafür, dass ich jetzt hier hinziehe und wegziehe. Deshalb wusste ich, jetzt kommen irgendwie schwere Aufgaben, die ich überwältigen muss, damit ich hier hin kann. Meine Geschwister haben sich natürlich alle total gefreut, weil sie mich kennen und wissen, dass das irgendwie für mich immer mein Traum gewesen ist. Ich habe meinen Papa dann auch mit nach München genommen und ihm das hier mit alles gezeigt, damit er auch sieht, dass es einfach ein Traum ist, den ich mir erfüllen kann. Von da an war es irgendwie auch einfach zu sagen, wir machen das zusammen.
Wo kommst du denn her?
Aus Fünfze.
Im Ruhrpott gibt es dann schon Vereine wie Schalke, Dortmund, Bochum. Das ist ja auch für die so ein bisschen, sage ich mal, der Lokalpatriotismus, den man da auslebt, mit seinem Verein, den man zujubelt, seit man klein ist.
Ja, ich glaube, bei den Jungs ist es halt nochmal anders, weil die dann auf diese, ich glaube, ihr habt dann auch auf die Turniere gespielt, wenn ihr gegen Schalke und Bochum, das war ja dann immer diese Hallenturniere. Aber für mich war immer von Anfang an Bayern das Thema, weil ich nie irgendwie Schalke oder Bochum-Fan war, sondern direkt Bayern-Fan. Mir hat es einfach gefallen, dass Bayern immer gewonnen hat und ich wollte auch immer gewinnen. Ich war damals ein riesen Giovanni Elber-Fan. Ich weiß auch, dass ich Trikots von ihm hatte und nachher war es dann Claudio Pizarro, weil das einfach beides meine Vorbilder waren. Also einfach, weil sie geil gespielt haben und letztendlich die Tore gemacht haben.
Ich glaube, der wichtigste Ratgeber in meiner Karriere war immer mein Vater. Er hat mir immer gesagt, Leon, du bist immer dann am besten, wenn es dir Spaß macht. Und gerade in schwierigen Situationen versuche ich das immer zu beherzigen.
Ich war eigentlich immer die kleinste und schwächste und die Zehnerrolle oder Zehnerposition, das glaube ich immer sensible Spieler sind. Ja, deshalb waren alle Trainer, die das gepusht haben in der Zeit, schon wichtig für mich, auch ja, als Ratgeber einfach. Wenn man Bayern-Fan war, war es von anderen immer so, ja, die Bayern. Wenn man dann hier wirklich mal Teil des Vereins ist, merkt man halt, dass es im Endeffekt nicht berechtigt war, was andere gedacht haben oder gesagt haben, sondern der Erfolg, der wird hier genauso erarbeitet wie in anderen Vereinen.
Schon eine Stunde vorm Training sind eigentlich alle im Gym, komplett nass geschwitzt darunter. Wie willst du jetzt vorm Training nicht trainieren und was will ich tun, wenn ein Robben oder ein Franck Ribéry mit 35 da das Gym auseinandernehmen? Und ja, das zieht einen natürlich mit.
Mir ist an mir. Mir ist an mir. Mir ist an mir, das ist Bayern, das ist Minga.
Also für mich ist es irgendwie, dass ja, man irgendwie als Familie zusammensteht, weil man natürlich auch, wenn man nach München wechselt, wie jetzt bei uns beiden, wenn man von zu Hause weggeht, irgendwie ja, ein Stück weit auch Familie verlässt, um hier hinzugehen.
Von dem Zeitpunkt an, wo man hier war, hat man überhaupt erstmal verstanden, was es für die Leute bedeutet.
Sorry, I'm reading.
Wir haben zusammenhalten, Zugehörigkeitsgefühl.
Und ja, dass die Mannschaft oder der Verein generell auch ein bisschen Familie zurückgibt, die man dafür aufgegeben hat.
Ein Teamgefühl, ein Gemeinschaftsgefühl. Wir sind zusammen, wir kümmern zusammen, wir kehren zusammen. Das ist eine Gemeinschaft, die haben wir nur so in Bayern.
Grundsätzlich bin ich natürlich total froh darüber, dass gerade Bayern auch irgendwie ein Vorreiter ist, was das angeht, in Frauenfußball erkannt hat, dass da unheimlich viel Potenzial ist, dass auch in den vergangenen Jahren sich da sehr viel getan hat. Ich glaube, dass man die Entwicklung des Frauenfußballs so positiv betrachten kann, dass es die Hymne zu hören und dann noch hier in der Arena ist einfach eine Bestätigung, glaube ich, für die Entwicklung der letzten Jahre. Und ja, das freut uns natürlich als Herrenmannschaft auch, dass da der Erfolg da ist und wir gemeinsam den Verein so positiv repräsentieren können.
Leute wollen, dass wir weiterkommen, dass wir die nächsten Schritte machen, dass wir zusammenarbeiten. Ja, solche Momente, die wir jetzt auch dadurch kriegen, das ist einfach für uns auch ein Riesengeschenk und wir wissen das natürlich auch zu schätzen. Ich wollte immer bei Bayern spielen, ich habe immer zum FC Bayern hochgeguckt, deshalb ist die Geschichte dann am Ende irgendwie ganz rund geworden.
Sorry.
Former professional football player and Olympian for the Colombian women's national team. Today, I am here with the great Friolina Rodolfo, attacker for FC Barcelona and the Swedish national team. And this is the matchup. Hello, Friolina. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you, thank you. All right, we're going to kick things off with something called the kickoff. And this is just be a little fun. So, I'm Colombian, and in Colombia, we love music. So, since I'm a music type of person, what is your go-to song at the moment that pumps you up?
It depends in which kind of mode I am, but at the moment I'm listening to a singer called Sena Bosé. She's my go-to when I'm listening before games and stuff like that. I'm getting motivated.
If you open your phone, what is the back screen image? So mine is of my fiance and I. What is your background?
Yeah, it's my boyfriend as well. I show it like this.
Nice.
So it's a nice one because it's a really great view when we lived in Wolfsburg. So you see like the nature, and then he's sitting there with his back, and it's just a nice picture that I really like.
Nice. So I'm morning hours right now in New York City, so I'm enjoying some coffee. So this could be if we could be friends or not. Are you a coffee or tea person?
Coffee for sure.
Nice.
So we're probably friends.
All right, apart from football, what is your favorite hobby?
When I have time off, I really love to travel, or I would say travel or food. Like I love cooking or going to restaurants, so that might be my hobby.
And so you recently arrived in Barcelona. How is your Spanish going?
Good so far. It's a hard language to learn because it's completely different from Swedish and German that I read before. So it's a challenge, but I'm starting to understand more and more.
So this is your fourth language that you're learning?
Yes.
What has been the hardest part about learning Spanish, especially like on the pitch?
I think the hardest part here is that they speak really fast. So it's, even though I get some words, it's hard to get the whole meaning.
If you were going to go to a coffee shop in Barcelona, how would you order your coffee? Hola.
Para mí un café con leche, por favor, or something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
Don't know when the second one starts. It costs about 9 minutes. It's probably a few minutes.
I'm Eric Goldstein. I'm a model.
What? I'm joking.
I'm
I'm not rude.
From my living room to magazine covers, I make my own business. The industry has to keep up. I was born this way. This. My story is not impossible because I am possible.
Well, welcome back. Almost ready to get underway in the second half. Wolfsburg completely dominant in the first half. Arsenal only being able to get one shot away. That one was one from Steph Catley, but Wolfsburg really being able to get the chances in. They've only been able to score the one, though, in the opening 10 minutes of the game from Jill Lord against her former club. Able just to tap it in past Zinsberger. And they seem the more comfortable side in this game. Scott, what do Arsenal need to do to get themselves back in it?
Well, definitely need to play better. In possession, they need to keep the ball better. Be able to just play their way around Wolfsburg at times, because, you know, you're going to be playing against a good side, so you have to play good football. But I think they can also press much, much higher.
Well, this is the goal.
This finishes
Jonsdottir with a touch, and then Jill Lord was able just to get it past Zinsberger.
Arsenal get
It was quite an acrobatic finish, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, good balance. Jonsdottir just reacts really quickly to it. This was the good finish, but offside.
Well, it took quite a bit of time for VAR to decide whether it was or was not offside. So Tabia Wasmud, who is the competition's top goal scorer, did have the ball in the back of the net. It didn't count, though. And they're back out with the Hoover to try and get the confetti that was covering the pitch in the first half, which delayed kick-off by about 5 minutes. Trying to clear the pitch. And they've been able to get most of it away. Well, there are a couple of Arsenal fans that have made the trip to Germany. And there are options for Arsenal on the bench. Do you think they need to make any changes?
I would be surprised if they make a change. I think they'll have, you know, talked about what to do, how to make it better, and it's for a place in the semi-final. You know that, as you can see here, Wolfsburg have definitely got players on the bench that they can bring on, but Arsenal have too, and I'm sure they will go to the bench at a certain point, but you know, they have to come out in the second half and really give it a go. Get in the faces of Wolfsburg, press much higher, see if they can win the ball high up the pitch, and certainly get their key players, the players that are going to make the difference, on the ball more.
Well, Arsenal are out and they're ready and raring to go in the second half.
Please say.
It was Lotte Wubben-Moy who scored that late equaliser in the first leg at Arsenal Stadium. And Jill Lord, against her former club, has given Wolfsburg the lead in the first half. They'll be desperate to try and hold on to that because they know a place in the Champions League semi-finals is at stake. Work to do for the visitors then if they want to see themselves progress further. And of course, no away goals rules means if Arsenal can find an equaliser, and it is all square in the 90 minutes, then we go to extra time and penalties if we need them. The Arsenal players in a huddle. Vivian Miedemar a little bit late to the party, but she's joining her teammates now. Wolfsburg players are ready and raring to go. And Arsenal will be making a change. Tobin Heath is the player to be replaced. Caitlin Ford will come on. Did you expect to see that change from Arsenal?
I expected to see that change, but not directly at half-time. I think it may say something about what Arsenal are looking for in the second half. They've made a change. They want to change the way the game is going.
Helmut Schultz didn't have too much to do in the first half. Arsenal will be hoping to create some more chances of their own in the second half. They currently trail a goal to nil. Here is Kim Little. Now Marnon. Back to Wubben-Moy. And of course, Arsenal making that half-time change. Tobin Heath making way for Caitlin Ford. Ball over there from Pop, looking for Hoot, who was arriving on that right side for Wolfsburg, able to get the ball into the area. It found Jill Lord, who wasn't able to get the connection she wanted to get a shot away.
Yeah, again, it's that right-hand side for the home team. It's causing all the problems.
Jonas Edeval and his backroom staff, I'm sure. Plenty to think about after that first half performance. Pop through to Roth, and here's Hoot. Moy back to keeper Zinsberger. It was Rasmussen who was putting the pressure on, so Zinsberger wasn't really able to get that kick very far away from the Arsenal half. And now Wolfsburg will try again. Knows with the ball in, just skips past Jill Hort, and Marlon was able to pick up on it. There's Dominique Janssen. Jonsdottir is the Wolfsburg player that's down. Back up on her feet though. And Kim Little holding on to that ball, even though there's plenty of those bright green shirts trying to get a touch in to get that ball away. Arsenal able to hold the possession though.
Go on.
Catley.
Oh.
The ball was looking for Blackstenius, but Janssen got there first and able to get that ball away from Arsenal. That's a lovely ball looking for Jonsdottir. And Zinsberger anticipated it.
Yeah, again, good goalkeeping. Always aware. Just acting as a sweeper. The problem for Arsenal here is to go and press high, they need the players that can actually go and do that. Blackstenius may want to, but Medema definitely not. She'll not want to just go pressing high. So that's maybe why they're deciding to sit back a little bit more to the halfway line and press when Wolfsburg get slightly higher, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to be effective enough. There's an attempt here, which is good. If you can win the ball back, it's successful.
Moritz through to Blackstenius. McCabe able to keep the ball in play, and Janssen headed it out. Well, whoever wins this matchup will be facing Barcelona in the semi-finals.
Everybody's screwing away.
The current Champions League holders, who yesterday smashed the record of attendance at a women's football match. Hort. Here's Hoot. The ball was looking for Varsmuth, who goes down after colliding with Catley. Not too much in that though. Tabia Varsmuth was on target in the first leg, as she has been in pretty much every Champions League game that she's played in.
It may prove tricky for Payot to get back in the side.
And around 10,000 fans inside this stadium tonight, showing their support for what is a huge game for both sides. Here's Moritz. Back to Marnham. Williamson. McKay back to her captain, Kim Little.
It was a great little run there from Blackstenius, but it wasn't seen by Marnham.
Oberdorf able to hold on to that ball, and the challenge came in from McKay, but Wolfsburg hold on to the possession. Oberdorf. Williamson gets away from Rasmuth. Finds Marnham. Here's Miedemar. Looking to keep going through. And a foul from Rasmuth there onto Williamson. Perhaps Williamson a little bit angry that it wasn't given her slightly earlier. Kim Little. Back to Marnham. And ball over the top. Found Blackstenius. Picked up by Moritz. Can't keep hold of that. There's a little push in the back of Janssen.
Yeah, a bit overly aggressive. It was always going to be a free kick.
I feel like we're doing a little better than this. Only 3 halves.
Well, the last time Arsenal were in the semi-finals of this competition, it was the time that Wolfsburg lifted the trophy back in 2013. Rasmuth. Well, you know she's got a powerful strike on her. Couldn't find the target this time.
Yeah, good little break. I think she gets a touch, initial touch wrong, and then it opens up for her for the strike.
Little. Over the top to Blackstenius. The ball went out of play. There will be a throw into Wolfsburg.
Just a bit more of an attempt now from Arsenal to get Blackstenius in, you know, in the channels, which is what she likes to run. And it will stretch the home side if they can, you know, get a quality ball in to either the left or right channel for the striker.
Zinsberger back to Wilbur Moy, and Arsenal have been able to keep the pressure that Wolfsburg were putting on them in the first half relatively at bay in the opening 10 minutes or so of this second half. Pop keeping the ball up. Miedemar goes down as the challenge there from Oberdorf. It's a free kick to Arsenal taken by Williamson. Slightly too much on that as the ball skips away from Caitlin Ford, who was the half-time substitution, came on for Tobin Heath. That was the early change that Jonas Edevar felt he had to make to try and make the difference in this game. McKay. Stelios looking to turn and get away, but the ball taken off it. Still alive here though as it bounces. Could be nicely for Miedemar. It was difficult really in the end for her to try and control that, wasn't it?
She did react well. She was the first to react here. It was always going to be difficult to keep this one in. I just wondered if she's taken a knock in that first half. She was out late after the half-time break. Looked to just be carrying a slight knock. She's looking better now. She's managed to run off a little bit, but she certainly won't want to come off in a game like this.
Well, they're upping the pace a little bit here, Arsenal. It was Miedemar again, right in front of the near post.
And I always think the closer you can get her to the goal, the better for a side. You know, if she's in the penalty box, see how she can use her body. So aware, she's looking for the twist there to get the shot away. Just natural in the penalty box, and so calm and composed. And sometimes when she's playing in that deep position, she's not able to do that. Can't do two things at once.
You've got to say Kim Little has had a fantastic game so far.
Yeah, she's been the energy, hasn't she, Kim Little? And you can see how desperate she is when she's in possession, not to give it away. She knows she's under a lot of pressure, but she's composed and uses all of her experience.
Well, we got a corner.
So Frida Marnham to take the corner for Arsenal. Found Vasmussen, she headed it away, and then Hansdotter made sure it was taken well away from danger.
It's a poor ball in though. It's got to clear that first defender. It's a real chance for Arsenal to put Wolfsburg under serious pressure. Maybe even hem them in a little bit, but when you allow the first defender to get the block away, you've got to start all over again. Remember how much in the first half Wolfsburg were able to just keep the pressure on Arsenal, and eventually they got something out of it.
Kim Little. Well, last time Wolfsburg lost on home soil in the Champions League was against Juventus in that 2-0 defeat in the group stages back in November. It was the first time that Wolfsburg had lost a home game in the Champions League since 2019. Just shows their strength that they have in this competition. Kim Little allowed to drive forward, finds Blackstenius. Moritz. Moritz decides to go for it. Shot spills it. Miedemar.
God's sake, what's going on with William?
Again, the amazing bit of play from Kim Little leads up to this. The goalkeepers everywhere here didn't know what she's doing. She lets the ball go through, it hits her head, it drops. Miedemar tries to get onto it. Much, much better from Arsenal though.
Well, you can definitely see a difference in this Arsenal side from the first half, because Wolfsburg have been kept relatively at bay with the chances that they've been allowed to create.
Yeah,
7-11.
Going into this second half, I think you can feel a little bit of confidence in them now. They're getting good possession and they are threatening.
Oberdorf. Still half an hour to go in this second leg of the Women's Champions League quarter-final. McCabe.
Go on, Katie.
Gets away from Rauch. Hendrick in the way, and there's a collision between two players. Oberdorf was one of them. Now Wolfsburg come forward with Jill Hood. Here's Jon Stotte. Vasmut arriving in the area too. Able to cut it back. Well, Vasmut just couldn't get a touch that she wanted on it.
Oh, do you mind putting
The
leaving
thing
it
about
on?
Jon's daughter is that she doesn't look quick,
Leaving that on.
but she is.
Because of the camera. Because of
Just
the-
makes it look effortless.
Well, Jon Stotte really made her debut in the Frauen-Bundesliga at the end of January this year.
2 weeks he stayed, or 2 months stayed in Steve. He
Did
didn't
sign
only
for
once.
Wolfsburg a little bit earlier on. Here's
Svenja
Svenja Hood,
Ask yourself whether you want a pond.
blocked in the end by
And
Kim
don't eat
Little
so
early
much
as far
bread.
as Jon Stotte.
Oh,
Ward decides to go back to Jonsson. Rauch. Well, Wolfsburg had two brilliant chances in the first leg to try and get themselves a second when two chances hit the post in quick succession as well. And they'll probably be reeling that they weren't able to get those in.
Yeah, but we did know that this was going to be tight, this fixture.
Well, the free kick goes Arsenal's way, which is why you can hear the whistles around the stadium. Noel Moritz, signed from Wolfsburg in July 2020. Port. Rauch. Over to an Arsenal throw, and it was Moritz to take it. Vasmut picks it up though. Looking to get that ball into space, which Svenja Hood will try and chase down. It was an important block from Catley, who was able to get there first.
Oh, it's a really good recovering tackle from Catley. You know, Hood's quick, so it shows the pace of the fullback.
Well, it was getting a little bit feisty between Svenja Hood and Steph Catley. Oberdorf couldn't quite stay on her feet.
Still 25 minutes plus any score.
It was a nice turn to try and get around Steph Catley. As she was trying to do that though, just slipped.
Yeah, a really good player, keeps getting better and better.
Miedema through to Blackstenius, but it was away by Jonsson.
Blackstenius had to take longer in possession there, just to allow her teammates to get up and support. I think it was only McCabe, but that was a really difficult ball to try and find her. But more patience.
Marner.
Come on.
Kim Little. Caitlin Ford's asking for it. Gets it to Blackstenius.
Again, much better play from Arsenal. They've managed to press much higher in the second half.
Maybe.
Particularly from goal kicks. And they'll keep getting closer if they carry on doing that. Blackstenius almost gets ahead of Jansson at the front post. Not quite.
Well, they've got themselves a corner, Arsenal. Frida Marnham sends this one in. Moy almost.
She almost scored again.
At the far post. Got a decent connection to it, but it was well blocked in the end by Wolfsburg.
Better ball in though.
It was Hendrik who just got in the way from Robin Moy.
I wonder if Wolfsburg may look to the bench now, just to freshen things up again, as Arsenal start to put a bit more pressure on.
And so they did, because here's Kim Little
No.
again, just
Come on,
weaving away
come on.
in and out
Look, another one just
of
like
the
that one.
Wolfsburg
Now.
players.
Need it.
Looks so easy for her when she's on the ball.
Oops.
Another corner to Arsenal, taken by Marner. And this time, straight into the hands of Almut Schultz.
Catching her. Didn't you don't play trip me over?
Yeah, Arsenal player should really be in front of Schultz there, make sure she can't come off her line. Because it was a decent ball in.
Moy with the ball back to Zinsberger. Had to make sure she got there though, because there was two Wolfsburg players who were ready to pounce. Hendrik. The ball's kept in play. Now to Robin Moy. Headed away by Wilms. And Hoot will play this back to keeper Schultz. And now it's Arsenal who are putting the pressure on Wolfsburg when they're playing it out from the back. Hort. Rauch finds Jonsdottir. Alex Pop and Vasmus are the two players that are ready in the area waiting. Jonsdottir loses the possession. McCabe with a big kick away finds Miedemar, waiting in that central position. This could be a nice opportunity for Arsenal, as Ford looking just to curve that ball into the pathway of Blackstenius.
It's a really nice break again. Good ball from McCabe, out of pressure, and a lovely touch from Miedemar. Just so gentle, the technique to take it in front of her, so it's a forward pass she could make next.
Change then for Arsenal. McCabe off, Nikita Paris on.
Whatever it was last time.
Jordan Nobbs also ready to make her appearance as Frida Marner makes way.
Don't know if that's a little late.
Really positive. Probably a good time to make those substitutions as well, because they're gaining the momentum a bit. An extra bit of sharpness just might give them what they want.
Jordan Nobbs with the first touch of the game. Oberdorf. And picked up by Roth. Here's Jonsdottir. Finds Pop. Just can't get past Kim Little. He's collided into and the ball's given away here. Svenja Hoot looking to create an opportunity. Able to cut inside, can't quite get the shot away, it was rebounded. And Arsenal able to deal with that well. Rauch with the ball into Jonsdottir. They'll keep testing here, Wolfsburg. Jonsdottir gets away from Morris. Oh, it's an own goal. Heartbreak for Arsenal. Leah Williamson, as she was trying to clear it away, put it in the back of her own net. Wolfsburg have their second, 3-1 on aggregate, and what a huge, huge goal that could turn out to be for the home side as they look to seal their ticket into the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Yeah, so difficult to defend against this because she's only got one thought in her mind: hit the byline. Use that pace, that length of stride. Williamson just lifts her foot to block it, and I think it catches underneath her boot on the studs, and it takes it past Sinsberger. Really unlucky. Just can't stretch out enough. But you have to give credit to Jonsdottir. Takes a touch and immediately gets at the fullback, and then puts the ball into an area that asks questions of the defence, and sometimes you get lucky.
Well, Leah Williamson has been given that as an own goal, and that will be heartbreaking for Arsenal, but Svennis Jonsdottir involved in both goals for Wolfsburg on her first start in the Champions League. Arsenal looking to respond immediately. And Wolfsburg now have themselves a little bit of breathing space.
Yes, definitely come at a very good time for them, because as we were talking about, Arsenal had much more possession and starting to threaten.
Moritz with the ball in, blocked though by Jonsdottir. Arsenal corner. What a performance the young 20-year-old is having in such an important stage in Wolfsburg's Champions League campaign. Catley with the corner in for Arsenal.
Oh!
Header off the post from Miedemar. Saved off the post again. They still can't clear it away, Wolfsburg. Now Paris picks this up for Arsenal. Out to Kim Little. Williamson with the ball in, headed away by Pop. Schultz with an important save.
Well, you have to ask, how does this not go in? Good first header. It's Miedemar. There's that Williamson for the second. Great save. Schultz managed to just claw it out.
In 2015,
Out of
got
the corner
stoppage.
for Arsenal. Catley sends it in. Williamson was arriving. Hoot getting that ball away. Here's Jonsdottir.
Yes, Kim.
Her pace was matched by Kim Little, the Arsenal captain.
That's really unlucky for Arsenal. Two really good attempts, great ball in. You think it's going over the line and keeper makes the save.
Oberdorf. Miedema. It's away from Hendrik and able to get the ball into the feet of Ford. Here's Jordan Nobb's ball taken off of there by Jill Ward. And it will be a nervy 15 minutes or so for the Wolfsburg fans watching this game. Although they do lead 2-0, anything can still happen in this quarter-final. Williamson, nice looking ball for Blackstenius. Trying to get away from Hendrik, it was good defending in the end, and Wilbs clears it away. Pop. Ball to Jonsdottir. She'll have to get around Moritz. There's players waiting in the box. Vasmus one of them, but Pop decides to go in it alone. Zinsberger had it covered. There is Eva Pajor, a player that's been out for so long for Wolfsburg. Goal-scoring machine. Not featured for Wolfsburg since September. Only made 2 Champions League appearances, scored 3 goals in those 2 appearances. And this will be a happy return for the Wolfsburg fans that are watching on in this stadium to welcome back the 24-year-old Polish international Eva Pajor. And replaces Svenis Jonsdottir, who's had an incredible game.
Yeah, she made a real impact. I have to say, good to see this player back. Really exciting player. Maritz also off the pitch now.
Maritz is also out as Laura Weinreuter comes on for Arsenal. Now Laura Weinreuter will know all too well about playing against this Wolfsburg side, having signed from Hoffenheim in January this year. And of course played against Arsenal as well for Hoffenheim in the Champions League. Was part of the team that beat Arsenal in Germany. Steph Catley's down.
I just have the feeling that even before Wolfsburg scored the second goal, Arsenal have thrown like caution to the wind. They really had a real goal. It did look like a slow one from Catley there. But maybe in the first half, they should have done that. Asked more questions of Wolfsburg in the first half. That said, you also have to, respect the way that Wolfsburg played in the first half. As Jonsdottir's goal, or I should say, the own goal, I always like to give it to the front players.
I'm sure Leah Williamson will be quite happy for that to be Jonsdottir's goal, but it was just, and she was trying to clear it away. Always heartbreaking, isn't it? Nothing you can do. Arsenal looking to see if they can get themselves back in this game. 10 minutes to go. The second leg of this quarter-final of the Champions League. Or Arsenal will be forced to bow out of the competition, and Wolfsburg will be sent on their way in another semi-final. Jill Hort. Ball in. Here's Eva Pajor. Can't keep hold of the ball. Williamson got it off her.
Immediately you see the pace of Payot.
Well, they've got it back now, Wolfsburg. Here's Oberdorf, urged to shoot, so she does. Well, the crowd has really started to liven up inside Wolfsburg Arena.
Yeah, she was winding up on that one. Didn't catch it the way she wanted to, though.
Jordan Knox. Little. Ford. Back to Little. Ford turns and tries to get away from Oberdorf. Does so, but she's looking for other options to help her out because she's being crowded out. Woman Moy spotted Ninreuter. Here is Ninreuter. Looking for that bouncing ball into the area. Away by Lindbelms, only as far as Kim Little, who will take a strike and straight into Oberdorf, who got a block in. Well, Basma got the ball away from Steph Catley. But the referee blows a whistle and it's a free kick to Arsenal.
Yep, in a good position as well. Means a good delivery.
So free kick comes in. And delivery was sent straight into the hands of Alma Short, who wants to set Tabia Basmut free. She's seen Payot, who's up there too. Pop. Here is Payot, gets away from Williamson. Flag was up though.
It's been. So I just I'm not really means, but I might
Very
this
close.
reaction video.
Didn't really look offside, did it? Looked like Williamson was playing her onside.
That's got to come out about 5-2 Steve, so give me a reminder.
This
This will be over in a minute, won't it?
It's 2-0. It will be over in 5+ minutes unless Arsenal do a miraculous comeback.
Complaints coming in there from.
No complaints there.
Well, an exchange for Wolfsburg. So it's Lena Oberdorf who makes way for Rebecca Blomqvist. Well, she avoided getting a yellow card, Lena Oberdorf, because if she did, she would have had to miss the first leg of the semi-final. Williamson. Blomqvist.
need something quickly.
Well, time is running out for Jonas Edeval and his Arsenal side if they want to have any luck of trying to progress through to the next stage of this Champions League. They'll have to find 2 goals in the next 4 minutes or so.
Not happening. Wonder if it's green. Who the fuck's green?
Paris. Knobs. Catley. Here's Ford. Trying to get away from Wilms. She was
Right,
getting
there's a
crowded
corner.
out, but Arsenal have themselves a corner.
If we don't get this, then that's it. Fuck me. That can't be.
Handball.
Just catches her hand, but she's done well since coming on. She's been involved. That left-hand side's
We've had more
a bit
corners.
trickier for Wolfsburg.
Catley with the delivery in. Not cleared away.
Oh.
This time it is by Rauch. And Jordan Knox decided to go for a swinging hit. And a relatively easy save for Almut Schultz.
They're starting to get a bit darker now. Just because that light's not on.
Well, Tommy Swords has been able to get his game plan off perfectly for his Wolfsburg side, who have kept the chances at bay against Arsenal, who
either Tottenham or Man U, or maybe even
against
someone
any
else.
other opposition
Wait, Chelsea got points.
have been so strong.
WSL.
There's still time though for the English side.
It's not happening unless go fall asleep.
Jordan Knox
Like that.
through to Nikita Paris.
Oh, penalty!
Helmut Schultz says she didn't get anything on the touch from Nikita Paris as she tried to get around. That could have been dangerous.
Well, your initial thought is that there's contact, but the angle of it is difficult to see, but we'll catch it now. Nice touch. Oh, I think there is contact. Not a lot. She just gets the ball over, but just on that right leg.
Should be in.
She clearly thinks, you can normally tell by the reaction. I know that she'll want it, but goalkeeper says no.
Here we go
I
again.
see. It's a great ball through, chased down really, really well. I think there's slight contact.
While the check is ongoing, Schultz is still shaking her head. She doesn't think there was anything in it. Neither does VAR, and neither does the referee. And Wolfsburg can breathe a sigh of relief.
Fuck off.
Well, there you go. It was very, very close. Just thought that might have been the lifeline for Arsenal.
Don't deserve it. Wolfsburg have outclassed us.
There's Pop. Back to Janssen. And Schultz. 4 minutes. Added on. Lord. Ball into the feet of Blomqvist.
That's just it.
Blomqvist keeps going. Out to Hoot. Who can square it?
Cross the crossbar.
And the flag is up.
Svenja Hoot, I think, just offside. When it comes to nothing. I've got to say, Kim Little has been fantastic for Arsenal tonight and doesn't deserve to be on a losing side. He's really led by example out there.
Schultz holding on to that one and able to get the kick away. Pop. Pyle. Hort. Back to Pop. Oh. Hort again, turning, looking to get away from Little. It's fallen to Jill Hort again, he'll take a strike. It was a decent hit too.
Don't bother, Manu, we ain't got
Easy
time
enough though for Zinsberger.
Unless we score here, there's no chance now. It's still in the league.
And all Wolfsburg will want to do is just make sure it doesn't go anywhere near where Helmut Schultz is.
Yeah, based on the overall performance, Wolfsburg have deserved the win.
Yeah.
First half of performance was really, really strong.
Free kick to Arsenal then.
Even if we score, it's still not happening.
Sends us into the hands of Helmut Schultz.
Well, I'd like to go just like a cheer for 1-0. Still 45 seconds.
And surely Tommy Stortz has led his side to a Champions League semi-final where Wolfsburg will meet the current Champions League holders Barcelona. Helmut Schultz holding on to that one. And gets that ball as far away from her area as possible. Wolfsburg just running down the clock. Only 5 seconds left of the 4 that were added. Well, the Wolfsburg fans are up on their feet because that is the final whistle. Wolfsburg making it to the Champions League semi-finals. 2-0 on the night.
That's probably the best reaction I've done. Crying. With tears. With sadness.
Who dominated Arsenal in the first half thanks to a goal from Jill Hort against her former club.
No, we need her back.
10 minutes to make it 1-0. And then heartbreak for Arsenal in the second half because then Leah Williamson own goal meant it sealed the deal for the German side and sent them through to the semi-finals of the
I've said to my mates,
League,
Arsenal will push out the Champions League. Probably one of them who
in the next round.
he don't even know football. He's probably going to laugh.
Well, we knew it was going to be a tight affair.
Yeah.
It definitely was. Did Wolfsburg deserve it overall?
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. I think in the second half, Arsenal came back at them and kept them honest, but I still felt that on the counter-attack for Wolfsburg, they had the players that could hurt Arsenal. Arsenal came close, but in the end, I think the better side won and are through to play Barcelona. That's going to be a tasty game.
Yeah, it is.
It certainly will, especially playing against the team that are the current Champions League champions.
Testing me, or did you forget?
No, I forgot.
But Wolfsburg are through, and what a performance that was from the German side to make sure
the underdogs going
they
into
got the
this.
golden ticket. And of course they welcome back Eva Pyle, who's been missing for so long for Wolfsburg. And it now can be party time inside the stadium here in Germany.
What? I said even if we've got some next round,
Who for you, Scott, have been the key standout players in this match?
Well, obviously, Jonsdottir was excellent. Every time she got the ball, she looked dangerous. I think in the initial part of the game, Svenja Hoot led by example down that right-hand side. But all in all, just some very, very good football players on that park. And as I say,
considering whether to upload this because it's a bit boring.
50-50 on the possession count, no.
Like a few, you know, close chances for the goals.
They were edging the possession in the first half. Arsenal
sort of tense
definitely looked the better team.
in the
Coming out in the second half, they were able to start creating chances of their own. They just
that
weren't able
chance from Leah
to
might
get
have
it
got us
into
a bit
the
of
back of
hope,
the net,
but
and they will be frustrated with that.
bye.
Yeah.